Welcome to Read Ancient Languages. I'm Dr. Fausto Labruto. Today we travel to ancient Babylonia to talk about a fascinating artifact, the Law Code of Hammurabi. In this video I will tell you about the Law Code and we will read together a key passage in the language of the code, Babylonian Akkadian. So first of all, who was Hammurabi? Hammurabi was a king who ruled Babylon almost 4,000 years ago in the 18th century BCE. At the start of his reign, Babylon wasn't a huge empire, it was just one city among many in Mesopotamia. But over time, through a mix of military campaigns, alliances, and smart politics, Hammurabi managed to bring a large part of the region under his control. What's interesting is how Hammurabi wanted to be remembered. He didn't present himself only as a warrior, but as a king of justice. In his inscriptions, he says the gods, especially Shamash, the god of justice, chose him to rule fairly. This image is key because it sets the stage for his most famous legacy, the Law Code. Now, let's talk about the Law Code as an object because it's impressive. The Code of Hammurabi is carved on a large black stone monument over 2 meters tall. It was discovered in 1901, not in Babylon, but in Susa, which is in modern-day Iran, where it had been carried as war booty centuries later. Below the image at the top, which depicts Hammurabi with the god Shamash, there are thousands of lines of tiny cuneiform inscriptions. The fact that it was carved in stone and set up publicly tells us something important, that law was meant to be visible, permanent, and authoritative. The code includes about 280 laws. They are written in Babylonian Akkadian, the language of the time. Now, you've probably heard of the idea of an eye for an eye. The principle shows up here in the laws of the Hammurabi Code. But it's important to note that contrary to popular belief, the laws that punish criminal acts are only a fraction of the 280 laws listed in the code. In fact, the majority of the laws of the code deal not with criminal law, but with civil law. Things like the laws of succession and inheritance, family laws such as regulations around adoption or divorce, commercial law including contract infringement and so on. So it's not a simple list of punishments. It aims at finally regulating civil society. What's even more fascinating about the code is its prologue, because it sets the stage for the list of laws. In the prologue, Hammurabi does two things. One, he asserts his power. He states how this power was given to him by the gods as a defender of justice. The other thing he does is to state the purpose of the code. And about this, he says two things. One, that the code should be used to punish the evil. And the other thing he says is a powerful statement, which I would like to read with you in the original Akkadian. So we will look at a tiny portion of text in the uppermost portion of the stele, where the prologue is, and we will concentrate only on a tiny bit of text, this one, consisting of just a few keywords. So this is the text enlarged. So if we take the text I selected and we rotate it 90 degrees so that the characters are lying horizontally, and we straighten it up with a little bit of post-processing, it is easy to recognize the cuneiform characters. Or you can look at the transcript, which is obviously easier to read. And let's read it together. But before we start reading it, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You will find the link for subscription below the video. So Akkadian is a uses a syllabographic writing system, which means that each character you see in this transcript stands for a syllable. In Akkadian, there were also characters that represented entire words or even concepts. They are called logograms, but the ones you see here are all syllabograms. So let's read them together. In the first line, we read danu and we sort of have to put together the syllables to obtain a word. The word is dannum. And the second line is ensham. And in the third line, we read the first anala and then habalim. So altogether, it reads Dannum ensham anala habalim. What does it mean? Dannum means the strong. It means the powerful. Ensham, on the other hand, it means the weak. Ana is a particle that stands for so that. And la is the negative particle. So it means not. And it's interesting because la is the negative particle even in modern Semitic languages which are related to Akkadian, such as Arabic. Finally, habalim is a verb. It means to harm. So, taken all together, and in a literal word-by-word translation, the sentence reads, the strong, the weak, so that not harm. And obviously the word order is not the same as in English, so we have to reshuffle the words to obtain a meaningful sentence in the English language, and the sentence is so that the strong may not harm the weak. Or if you prefer a more liberal translation, to protect the weak from the strong. And this is quite a powerful statement. It is a powerful statement, especially for the age, when democracy did not exist and rulers ruled by force. This statement makes Hammurabi a precursor. Of course, he was a strong military leader who did not hesitate to use force against the enemies, but he styles himself also as a man of justice. And the protection of the weak is not an intuitive concept in a code of law. Intuitively, a code of law should be there to punish the criminals. The concept of protecting the weak from the strong is somewhat advanced for the time, and it has found its way into modern codes of law, into the constitution of countries. So it represents a turning point in judicial history. And I chose to translate this particular few words because, in my opinion, they give a whole new perspective to the Code of Hammurabi, which is very often misunderstood or misportrayed as a crude list of punishments for acts of crime. Today, the Code of Hammurabi can be admired at the Louvre Museum in Paris, and this is a picture of myself in front of the stele some years ago. I hope if you will visit, you will be able to remember my translation of these few keywords, which are in the first column just under the feet of Hammurabi at the top of the written text. Thank you for watching Read Ancient Languages. Don't forget that I'm out with a book on the Hittites and their language. You can learn more about the book checking the book launch video on this channel. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.